Hello everyone, my name is Tyler Kish. Did you know that our body is made of 60% water and that our blood is made of 90% water? This may seem like a lot of water, and you're correct, it is. Today I'm going to be talking to you about why you should drink more water. It is something that I try to do every day and a topic that I've done a lot of research on. First, I'm going to be talking about the disadvantages to not drinking enough water. Secondly, the advantages you'll notice when you start drinking enough water. And thirdly, the long-term advantages when you stay hydrated and have been drinking enough water for a long period of time. So first, let's take a look at the disadvantages of not drinking enough water, more commonly known as dehydration. The first one is bad breath. So when you're hydrated, the water creates saliva in your mouth, and this rinses out bacteria. But when you're not drinking enough water, you have less saliva in your mouth, and the bacteria stays in your mouth for a longer period of time. This can lead to unhealthy teeth and gums, and ultimately bad breath. Secondly, constipation. When you're hydrated, your water creates your stool to be soft, which allows it to go through your body very easily. But when you're not hydrated, it leads to less bowel movements and poor digestion, which ultimately leads to constipation. And thirdly, skin. When you're dehydrated, your skin can be flaky, dry, you can develop wrinkles more easily, and your skin will start to sag. And nobody wants unhealthy looking skin. Being hydrated also leads to lifestyle problems. The first one is fatigue. So when you're dehydrated, it puts more strain on your heart because you have decreased blood pressure. So the heart is working harder than it should to pump the blood through your body. This leads to you being tired often, and your heart, as it's working harder throughout the day, at the end of the day, you're going to be more tired than you should be. And secondly, another lifestyle problem is sugar cravings. It says, quote, dehydration interferes with the body's ability to reach into glucose stores for energy and can trigger cravings for foods high in sugar and carbohydrates, end quote. That's from healthcareassociates.com. Basically what that means is when you don't have enough water in your body's going to be craving sugars and glucose and carbs, and that just leads to an unhealthy diet, and you don't want to be eating those types of food all day without exercise because it's hard to burn off those calories. You're going to be gaining weight, you have an unhealthy diet. It's just not a good thing to have. So now that we looked at the disadvantages of not drinking enough water, let's look at the advantages you'll notice when you start drinking enough water. So the universal recommended amount that everyone kind of accepted is 8 cups of water or more. It is very hard to drink too much water, so you don't have to really worry about that. Just drinking 8 cups of water or more is a healthy target. So first, the advantage you'll notice is lubricating your joints. You'll have less joint pain because your joints are made of mainly cartilage, and cartilage is 80% water. And if you're hydrated, it keeps that cartilage healthy and your joints freely moving. Another thing that you'll notice is increased brain activity. So when you're hydrated, it produces hormones and neurotransmitters as it should, rather than when you're dehydrated, it doesn't produce as much. This leads to less headaches, and you also realize that you're thinking better and your reasoning is more in depth. It says, quote, drinking water can improve one's brain health by simply increasing blood flow and oxygen to the brain, end quote. That's from womensbrainhealth.org. And basically with that increased blood flow and oxygen to the brain, your brain doesn't have to work as hard to think through the same things as it would if you were dehydrated. Another thing that you'll notice is that your body temperature will be more regulated. So water is stored in the middle layers of the skin, and when your body starts to overheat, the water comes out as sweat. And when you're hydrated, your body can go through a lot more heat strain than normally because you have a lot more water to produce as sweat, and it will regulate your body temperature for a longer period of time. It says, quote, when there's too little water in the body, heat storage increases and the individual is less able to tolerate heat strain, end quote, from medicalnewstoday.com. So with less strain on your body, this will also lead to a better immune system and you'll be less likely to become sick even if it's flu season or there's a sickness going around. So now that we looked at the advantages to drinking more water that you'll notice, let's look at the long-term advantages when you have been drinking more water daily for a long period of time. The first one is weight loss. So water increases your metabolic rate, and when you drink enough water daily for a long period of time, your metabolic rate will adjust to how much water you're drinking. Says, quote, a 2013 study in 50 young women with overweight demonstrated that drinking an additional 16.9 ounces of water 3 times per day before meals for 8 weeks led to significant reductions of body weight and body fat. And this is, end quote, that's from healthline.com. And this is because your metabolic rate is how fast your body digests food and uses up those calories. So if your metabolic rate is as fast as it should be when you're hydrated, you'll be using those calories as you should, and you'll stay at you'll stay about at the same weight that you are if you're eating a normal diet. But if you're dehydrated, your body doesn't use up those calories as much, and your metabolic rate is down. So those calories are going to be stored in your body, which makes you gain weight. So nobody wants to be gaining weight. It's important to stay hydrated so that you can be using the right amount of calories every day. It helps with pregnancy because when you're pregnant, the baby also requires fluids to stay healthy. And if you're staying hydrated, the baby's staying hydrated, and the baby is staying healthy. And when you're pregnant, you're carrying around extra weight. You need the extra fluids for that extra energy to just stay healthy. And it also prevents kidney damage. When you're drinking enough fluids, it puts less strain on the kidneys. They have to work less hard, just to flush out the toxins, and it'll prevent kidney stones. So when you're drinking enough water, it'll flush out those toxins and prevent the buildup of kidney stones. It says, quote, kidney stones that remain inside the body can also lead to many complications, including blockage of the tube connecting the kidney to the bladder, which obstructs the path that urine uses to leave the body, end quote. That's from medicalnewstoday.com. So, when you have kidney stones, it'll lead to many more health problems in the future. It's not something you want. So to conclude, drinking 8 or more cups of water per day is a very good thing, very good habit that you should look forward to, and is something that I do every day. I hope I motivated you to drink more water, and those disadvantages and the advantages really changed my lifestyle, made me drink more water, and I thank you for listening.